At the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to Maria Merryweather standing solemnly at a funeral. The ceremony is quiet, heavy with grief, and Maria appears composed on the outside. But there is something unsettling happening beneath the surface. At one point, she gets the distinct feeling that someone is watching her. She scans the crowd and spots a shadowy figure in the distance. She blinks, and just like that, they're gone. Already, this movie is telling us, not everything here is as it seems. After the funeral, the family gathers for the reading of the will. Now, you'd expect something practical: inheritance, property, a name on a deed. But what Maria's father left her is baffling. A single book, big, old, and clearly ancient. No note, no explanation, just the book. Maria tries not to show how confused she is. Miss Lavandisa, her devoted caretaker, attempts to comfort her, but Maria quietly retreats. She needs to process this alone. So that night, filled with questions and grief, she opens the book, and from that moment, her life will never be the same. The book is titled The Ancient Chronicles of Moonacre Valley, and the moment she begins reading, we are transported hundreds of years into the past. We are introduced to a breathtaking, magical place, Moonacre Valley, where nature is alive in ways most people couldn't imagine. On a moonlit beach, a young girl walks alone. She has a purity about her, a rare kind of goodness that nature itself seems to recognize. And one extraordinary night, the moon itself reaches down and gifts her shining, glowing pearls. From that night forward, she is known as the Moon Princess. But peace, as we know, never lasts forever. Time passes in the story, and we see two great families living side by side in the valley. To celebrate a union between their children, each family presents a magnificent gift. One offers a powerful black lion. The other presents something even more mythical, a white unicorn, said to be the only creature worthy of standing beside the Moon Princess. It sounds like a fairy tale. It feels perfect. But then the Moon Princess does something that changes everything. In a gesture of trust, she reveals the true power of her pearls to both families. These are not just beautiful objects. They can grant any wish, good or evil, any wish. And just like that, greed enters the picture. Maria stops reading. Something about the story is affecting her on a level she can't explain. Almost like the words are pulling at something deep inside her. She closes the book, but the story isn't done with her yet. The next morning brings a big change. With her father gone, Maria must leave London and travel to the countryside to live with her uncle. It's an emotional farewell, servants, familiar rooms, the life she's always known. But Miss Lavandisa refuses to let her go alone. She made a promise to Maria's mother years ago, and she intends to keep it. So the two of them climb into the carriage and set off. The journey is long, bumpy, and uncomfortable. But when they finally arrive at a towering iron gate at the entrance to what appears to be an estate, the real adventure begins. The coachman steps down to find the key, and that is exactly when a gang of criminals surrounds the carriage. They grab at the doors, trying to drag Maria and Lavandisa out. Here's where it gets impressive. These two women don't freeze. They fight back, fast, decisive, and effective, dropping every single attacker to the ground before the coachman even notices anything happened. He finds the key, opens the gate, and climbs back up completely oblivious. The gate swings shut behind them, blocking the criminals from following. What a way to arrive. Inside, they are greeted by a man named Benjamin, who welcomes them with formal courtesy and escorts them in. But the very first thing Maria sees stops her cold. A massive, intimidating dog named Rufus sitting beside the fire, staring at her with wild, dangerous eyes. Benjamin casually mentions that Rufus normally attacks strangers. He adds, almost as an afterthought, that since Maria is family, the dog probably won't hurt her. Probably. Not exactly a warm welcome. Maria's room is in a tall, isolated tower, far from Lavandisa, far from anyone. It's dusty, forgotten, and lonely. But as she explores, she finds something unexpected, a hidden door tucked into the wall. Behind it is a small, secret room that feels completely different from everything else in the mansion. It's warm, glowing, beautifully arranged, almost as if it was waiting for her. The next morning, Maria is settling in when Benjamin notices the ancient book she's carrying. He takes it from her immediately, claiming it belongs to the mansion. Maria is furious. She goes to Lavandisa, who tells her to let it go for now. Then her uncle joins them for breakfast, and he is not a warm man. When Lavandisa tries to make conversation, he shuts it down. When Maria directly asks him why he called her here, his answer is blunt and cold. Her father died in debt, and now she is his responsibility. Maria pushes back. Her uncle doesn't flinch. He even says that while he himself was a man of courage, her father, in the end, was weak. That hits Maria like a blow to the chest. That night, lying in her tower room, Maria stares at the ceiling and watches a shooting star streak across the sky above her. Something is stirring. something bigger than her grief. As the days pass, Maria begins to notice more and more strange things. A piano covered with a cloth that seems to play on its own. A glowing, ghostly white horse running through the gardens at night. Another shooting star appearing directly above her room. She tries to talk to her uncle about it, and instead of answers, she gets something far more strange. Benjamin suddenly breaks down crying. He begs her, pleads with her, to stop asking questions. It's the reaction of a man carrying an enormous secret. Then Rufus appears in the hallway, restless and insistent, clearly trying to lead her somewhere. Maria follows him, cautiously, until they pass a large mirror. She glances at it, and what she sees reflected back makes her breath catch. Rufus doesn't look like a dog in the mirror. He looks like a massive, powerful black lion. The same lion from the book. Still, she follows him. He leads her to a hidden kitchen where she meets Marmaduke, the mansion's cook, who is anything but ordinary. He moves with impossible speed, appearing and vanishing in a blink. When Maria tries to question him, he doesn't explain everything. He simply says, magic has returned to Moonacre Valley, and then he tells her to keep reading her book, which, he reveals, is hidden in the library. Maria finds it. She picks up where she left off. Back in the ancient story, the moment both families learned the pearls could grant any wish, everything unraveled. The two men, consumed by greed, began fighting over the pearls. The Moon Princess begged them to stop. They ignored her. Betrayed by the very people she trusted most, the Moon Princess didn't cry. She didn't run. She stood tall and placed a devastating curse on all of Moonacre Valley. She declared that everyone would suffer for their greed. And then she issued a prophecy. After 5,000 moons had passed, one final person would come to the valley. If that person failed to break the curse and return the pearls to nature, the valley would fall into eternal darkness. Then, the pearls vanished, and no one ever found them again. Maria closes the book. She runs to Marmaduke. Is this real? Yes, all of it. He explains that both families were consumed by hatred and pride across generations. But there's still time. A new Moon Princess can break the curse, but only if she returns the pearls to nature and unites both families. Maria can barely process this. She tells him to stop, and she runs. That night, she has a nightmare. She's being hunted through the forest, chased by shadows she can't see. She wakes up terrified. She begins packing. She tells Serena, the rare rabbit she rescued from a forest trap after ignoring Benjamin's explicit warning to stay out, that Lavendisa will look after her. She's leaving, but fleeing doesn't go quite as planned. Instead of reaching the gate, Maria finds herself running into the very forest she's been warned about. Deep inside, she hears a voice calling her name. Soft, clear, impossible to ignore. She follows it, and then she sees her. A woman standing among the trees, surrounded by animals, radiating a calm that the forest itself seems to mirror. It's the Moon Princess, in the flesh. The woman introduces herself as Loveday, and without sugarcoating anything, she shows Maria a vision. Using magic, she conjures an image of the moon crashing into the earth, obliterating everything. It is terrifying. Loveday apologizes, then reveals the truth. Maria's father knew about the curse. He tried everything to escape it, and couldn't. So to protect Maria, he sent her here, to Moonacre Valley, because this is exactly where she belongs. When Maria suggests enlisting her uncle's help, Loveday's entire demeanor shifts. She goes cold. She refuses to even hear his name spoken. Something happened between them, something deep and unresolved. But right now, there's only one thing that matters: finding the moon pearls. Maria thinks fast. The Noir clan, those same criminals who attacked the carriage, might have the pearls locked away in a vault somewhere. But to open it, they'd need a key. And then Maria remembers something. That strange object attached to her father's book all along. She examines it. Her eyes go wide. The key has been with her the whole time. Excited, Maria asks Loveday to take her to the Noir clan's castle. Loveday agrees, until they get close. Then she stops, visibly shaking, and refuses to take another step. She turns and disappears into the trees, leaving Maria completely alone at the gates of an enemy stronghold. Maria doesn't turn back. She slips inside, moving carefully past the guards, but she's caught. A guard drags her before William Denoir, the leader of the Noir clan. He's a hard, angular man with cold eyes and centuries of grievance written into his face. Maria accuses him immediately. He stole the moon pearls. But William doesn't flinch. He takes her to a stone monument of his ancestor. He shows her the vault. And it's empty. It has always been empty. According to the Denoir family history, it was the other family, Maria's family, who always had the pearls. And now, he says, with the 5,000th moon approaching, the truth will finally come out. His family will have their revenge. His son Robin throws Maria in a dungeon. He's smug about it, mocking her, telling her the cockroaches are her only company now. Maria listens. Then she kicks him hard enough that he stops talking entirely. He orders the guards to lock her in, furious and limping. Hours later, Maria wakes up in the dark cell. And on the stone wall, she sees it, the glowing image of the white horse. She knows what it means. It's time to move. She starts climbing toward a window, but her dress catches on the ledge. A guard comes to check on her, sees fabric hanging from the window, and steps inside to investigate. That was the plan. The moment he's inside, Maria bolts past him and tears through the castle at full sprint. She hits the forest and runs. William's soldiers pursue her, but they make a critical mistake. They assume she won't go deep into the forest. They go the wrong way. Maria disappears into the trees. Then Rufus finds her. He guides her back through the dark forest, all the way to the mansion, safe. Back at the mansion, Lavandisa is flooded with relief. But Benjamin is furious. He tells Maria to go to her room. Maria fires back. He is not her father. And Benjamin, for just a moment, looks like he's been struck. He apologizes. Loveday appears again, carrying a gift, a gown that once belonged to the first Moon Princess. When Maria puts it on, something shifts in the air. She feels ready. The two of them walk together through the mansion, and they stop at the old piano. They sit down and play together, and that's when Maria notices a mirror across the room. She looks into it. She sees a vision from the past. Loveday, dancing with Benjamin. Young, in love. The truth lands like a stone. Loveday is from the Noir family. She and Benjamin were in love once. And when Benjamin finds out where she comes from, he erupts, shattering that fragile moment, accusing her of using him to get to the pearls, refusing to hear her try to explain. She leaves, heartbroken. Again, now Maria understands everything. The curse didn't just destroy a valley, it destroyed people. 2 families. A love story. Generations of lives poisoned by pride and inherited hatred. She doesn't have time to grieve for any of it. She gathers Lavandisa, Marmaduke, and the butler Pierre in front of an ancient painting of the Moon Princess. Together they study it, and then, slowly, the painting begins to change. It shifts, reveals, points. The pearls are hidden somewhere in the forest. That's the clue. That's enough. Maria rides into the forest. In the forest, Maria catches Robin Denoir in one of his own traps. She could humiliate him. Instead, she frees him. She also rescues a trapped rabbit nearby, a small act of kindness that says more than words. Then she lets Rufus get close enough to genuinely frighten Robin. And in that moment of vulnerability, she tells him everything. The curse, the pearls, the 5,000th moon. What will happen if nothing changes? Robin listens, really listens. For the first time in his life, he starts to understand that his clan's hatred isn't righteousness, it's destruction. He's confused, but he agrees to help. Back at the mansion, fake letters arrive for both Benjamin and Loveday, claiming to be from Maria. They head out to find her and quickly realize something is wrong. The letters are forgeries. Now everyone is searching the forest, spreading out in all directions. Marmaduke uses his impossible speed to cover ground no human could. But Maria is deep in the trees, unreachable. Robin creates a decoy trail using a piece of Maria's torn dress, sending the Noir soldiers off in the wrong direction. They move deeper into the forest together. Maria explains what must be done with the pearls. Simply return them to nature. That's it. Simple, right? Then everything goes wrong at once. Rufus races off and falls into a hidden trap. Robin is captured by his father's soldiers. And Maria is suddenly alone in the forest with enemies closing in from every direction. The white horse appears, glowing, steady, and it leads her, through the chaos, through the dark, directly to the hiding place of the moon pearls. But William is already there. He grabs her, and from somewhere in the trees, Maria screams. Robin hears it. He fights. He breaks free, and he runs toward her voice. But before he reaches her, something devastating happens. Rufus breaks out of the trap. He attacks the soldiers, creating enough chaos for Robin to escape. But as the chaos erupts, an arrow flies. It finds Rufus. He staggers. He falls. And lying there in the dark of the forest, the great black dog closes his eyes for the last time. He gave his life. For Maria. Robin reaches William. He draws a dagger, holds it steady, and forces his own father to back down. He grabs Maria, and they run. They run toward the cave the horse led them to, with the Noir clan crashing through the trees behind them. They plunge inside, deep into the cave, past stone and shadows, until they reach a hidden chamber. And there, surrounded by the belongings of the first Moon Princess, are the moon pearls, shimmering, waiting, like they've been waiting for exactly this moment. Maria takes them. The pearls light up the cave. Together, she and Robin use that light to find their way out, just ahead of the soldiers chasing them. Outside, at the edge of a cliff overlooking the sea, the same cliff where the ancient wedding took place thousands of years ago, William stands and looks up at the sky. The moon is rising, full and enormous and impossibly bright. The 5,000th moon. Benjamin arrives with Pierre and Marmaduke. He is ready to fight, and then Maria steps between them. She stands in the space between two men who have been destroying each other and their families for generations. She doesn't shout. She simply speaks the truth. All of this ruin, all this darkness, this suffering that has stretched across centuries, it started with greed. It was never about the pearls. It was about pride. And the only thing that can end it now is both sides choosing to stop. Neither man moves. Loveday tries. She pleads with both of them. Nothing works. Maria realizes no one else is going to fix this. So she does what no one expects. She walks to the edge of the cliff and throws the pearls into the sea. They come back. She throws them again. They return again, drifting back toward her like they belong to her. Nature itself, it seems, isn't ready to release them. Not yet. And then the pearls do something extraordinary. They attach themselves to Maria's gown. And in that moment, she understands, with quiet, terrifying clarity, what must happen. She walks to the edge, and she jumps. Everyone on the cliff goes silent. No one breathes. Maria sinks into the dark water. The pearls finally release from her dress, floating free, returning to the sea where they were born. But Maria is sinking deeper, losing strength, fading. Then, the moon releases a pulse of energy that rolls across the entire valley like a wave of breath. And from beneath the ocean, something rises. A massive white wave, and inside it, running through the water like they were born in it, are white horses. Dozens of them. The wave crashes against the cliff, and Maria rises with it, carried upward on the back of a unicorn, breaking the surface alive. She is safe. Benjamin is already running. He reaches her and pulls her close. And somewhere in the dark forest behind them, something stirs. Rufus opens his eyes. He rises. And in the moonlight, the truth is finally undeniable. He is not a dog. He has never been a dog. He is the black lion from the ancient story, alive and restored, running back to Maria's side. Benjamin turns to Loveday. And after years of pride and pain and walls that should never have been built, he apologizes. Quietly, honestly, without excuses. For a moment, it looks like peace might actually be possible. But one final threat remains. The soldier who shot Rufus steps forward, raising his weapon toward Maria. And before anyone can react, Lavandisa appears. She swings her umbrella with the precision of someone who has been quietly ready for this moment her entire life. He drops. The threat is gone. Maria looks at her with the biggest smile of the whole movie. Then she hugs her tight. On the cliff, beneath the 5,000th moon, both families stand together for the first time. The curse is broken. The pearls are at rest in the sea. The lion stands beside the girl who saved them all. And Moonacre Valley, after 5,000 moons of darkness, finally breathes. The Secret of Moonacre is one of those rare films that wraps a genuine emotional punch inside a fantasy adventure. It's about grief, inheritance, pride, love, and the courage it takes to stand between two sides and say, enough. Maria didn't just break a curse. She chose to sacrifice herself when no one else would step forward. And that's what makes her one of the most quietly compelling protagonists in fantasy cinema. So let me ask you this. If you knew that throwing something precious into the sea could save an entire world, would you do it? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what you think. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video without subscribing, come on. You sat through an entire movie recap. You clearly have taste. Hit that subscribe button. We put out stories like this every week, and you do not want to miss what's coming next. The algorithm might not always show you our videos, but a subscription will. So tap it. You've earned it.